Hello, welcome to that 90s Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, James Tunstall. Today we've got a very special guest from Impact Wrestling. He is the former XDivision champion, Mr. Chocolate Thunder himself, Willie Mack. How you doing, Willie?
I'm doing all right so far, just enjoying the sun.
It's great. The weather's starting to turn over here in the UK. We had a bit of sunshine, but now wintertime is starting to come in, so it's starting to get them pretty cold mornings.
Yeah, I know I have to turn off the AC at my house because it's usually hot out here, but now it's kind of cold and hot at the same time.
Cool. So I suppose the first thing I'll ask you, Willie, was you a fan of wrestling as a child?
Oh, yeah, I was a fan of it. That's why I got into it, because I saw people cheering and having fun, looking like they was entertained by stuff. And I said I want to make people happy and do the same thing. So I got into wrestling right out of high school, and the rest is history.
Oh, cool. And I've read about your training stuff, and you worked a lot on the indies and working PWG and Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. And one of the guys I noticed you wrestled with was Samoa Joe. And I've always thought when I've seen you wrestle in Impact, you're a throwback to the XDivision guys of old, like Samoa Joe. So what was it like working with Samoa Joe?
It was a dream come true, because I used to go to shows as fans like PWG and another one in California called AWS, and I would see Joe wrestle there, and I said in my mind, I didn't say it out loud, I said I want to wrestle him one day, and then he got more popular and popular, and finally one day came and I got booked against him, and I was like, I had to pinch myself to make sure it was real, because it's like one of the dudes I grew up watching, and I'm in the ring, not even 7 feet away from him, and it was amazing. He's a good dude, hard hitting, like everything you see on TV, the impact, that's real.
It's great, and like I said, because the XDivision, the original concept of the XDivision was it wasn't about weight limits, it was no limits, and over the next few years, that kind of lost its identity. But when the likes of you came back into it, and you basically went, it was a throwback to how it was. So when I saw you in the XDivision, that was like the type of guy I wanted to see. That's how I wanted the XDivision to be represented again, like no limits. So it's great to see. And another thing I read as well, I've started like talking to some NWA guys, and I noticed you was like the heavyweight national heavyweight champion. So what was it like working on the NWA circuit?
It was fine. It was something I grew up on too. And it was like, that's their secondary title, pretty much like the Intercontinental title of the company. I'm like, went in and I won it, and it felt great knowing all the people that had that title before, like Ricky Steamboat, Sergeant Slaughter, Black Jack Mulligan, and all those other cats, Ric Flair of all people. And it's like, my name is on that list now as an NWA National Heavyweight Champion, and it feels great.
Cool. And not long after you left the NWA, you debuted in Impact, Bound for Glory, with your good friend Rich Swann. So how did that come about, like joining Impact?
Yes. Well, earlier in the year, it was Lucha Underground versus Impact show at WrestleMania New Orleans, I think it was.
Yeah.
And me and my homie Killshot, Shane Strickland, wrestled LAX for the tag titles that night, and I thought it was a one and done thing. And a few months go by, Sanjay Dutt called me up and said, "Hey, Willie, how much you feel about wrestling Bound for Glory?" I'm like, "Okay, cool. How much you feel about tagging up with Rich Swann?" I'm like, "Hell yeah. I mean, already you had me at Bound for Glory, making my debut on the pay-per-view and whatnot. Of course I'm going to go for it."
Cool. And I know, and the first match he had was with Ethan Page, who's kind of became a bit of a nemesis over the last couple of years. You always seem to be in tag team feuds with him. So what's it like working with Ethan Page?
Being in there with Ethan's pretty cool, because you know what you're going to get. You know he's a big dude, strong, like to play the mind games, and if you got a good tag team partner that's on the same page as him, they pretty much almost unstoppable. But I've had a few partners a good one in Rich Swann to help put him down once so we could do it again. And it's always trying to figure out what's his next move going to be before he even does it type thing.
Cool. And one of the other feuds you got into quite early on was with Sami Callihan and OVE. So, and Sami's been around the circuit for a long time, and he's always great to watch. So I would imagine like he was one of them type of guys you wanted to get in the ring with also.
Yeah, because I had him in this PWG debut. I don't really know who all was on. I think it was me and Generico versus him and Roger Strong.
All right.
In the tag match at the... Damn, I forgot the name of the show it was. I think it was the tag tournament, the DDT. There we go.
Yeah.
And I wrestled him there, and then ended up getting the Impact and had a little mini feud with him, I guess you call it. I wrestled him at Homecoming.
Yeah.
And it was a tough one. He's like to spit and chop people, and that's kind of nasty, especially when you know chops cut people open. So you got his saliva mixing in with your blood. That's not a good combination.
Cool. And not long after this, unfortunately, Rich Swann suffered an injury, and I would imagine that's something you've missed, like tagging with him.
Yeah, I came in the company because of him pretty much, and then I had to do things on my own solo after he got injured, and I had to do that 2-on-1 tag title match, me versus the North by myself at Hard Skill. And yeah, that was something else. I just wish he was right there. He was there in the arena, but he wasn't there like on that tag rope.
Yeah.
And I know he loves his business just as much as I do. So it must have killed him just to watch me in there doing my thing by myself.
Yeah, and I would imagine had he been there, we would have been seeing some gold round your waist. But with every cloud, there's a silver lining, and not long after this, you started feuding with Ace Austin, and at Rebellion, you defeated him to become the XDivision champion. So how does that feel like winning that belt after so many great names of the past, like we mentioned before, Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Chris Sabin, and the rest? Like, how did it feel like grabbing that championship?
It felt great. It was a shock to me because, like, as soon as I won the belt, I looked at it and I'm like, all right, AJ Styles, Chris Daniels, King Williams, Chris Sabin, Kazarian, Amazing Red, all these great X-Division wrestlers held this same title I'm holding in my hands, or a version of it.
Yeah.
And now I'm on the list with them too.
Yeah.
After watching the weekly TNA pay-per-views back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And seeing how it is now, I was like, wow, I'm really the X-Division champion.
And unfortunately, at Slammiversary, even though it was a great match, you lost the title to Chris Bay, but the other good thing what happened at Slammiversary was that your good friend Rich Swann returned, and he had an impressive show, and unfortunately Eric Young changed plans, decided to try and re-injure his leg. So was it good seeing Rich Swann come back?
Yeah, after me not winning or retaining my title earlier in that day and seeing Rich Swann make his entrance, it was kind of sad then happy, but then he got hurt again, so it was sad all over. So it's like, I don't know what to do. Hopefully he'll bounce back because he worked too hard to come back in the time that he did, because it was supposed to be a longer sit-out period for him to recuperate, but he came back in like a few short months ready to go, looking good. So we'll see what happens from here on out. I hope it's not the end.
Cool. And he's just made his return again, so hopefully it looks like he's eyeing up Eric Young's world title, so hopefully he's successful in it, which I should also add, Willie, you might be in for a bit of good fortune soon, because the last two Impact stars I've interviewed is Deonna Purrazzo and Eric Young, respectively, and within a month of talking to me, they've both went on to win the Knockouts and the world title, so don't be surprised if we'll see some gold around your waist pretty soon.
But I'll hold you to that. If it don't happen, I know who to blame.
But Bound for Glory's around the corner, and a few championships come about. There's Moose with the TNA Championship. Obviously, Eric Young's world title champion. Motor City Machine Guns recently came back, and they're the tag team champions. So, what do you reckon your plans for Bound for Glory will be?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll just show up and see what happens. If there's any open spots or anybody needs me to do something, I better do it. If not, I ain't got no problem watching the show because I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty entertaining and action-packed. And I'm still a wrestling fan at heart, so I love to sit back and watch too.
Oh, I'm sure we'll definitely be seeing you on that pay-per-view, 100%. And another good thing is, for UK fans, Impact's got the Impact Plus app, and which UK fans can watch Impact for free every week on the free tier list. But also this year, we're getting Bound for Glory.
Yeah, that's awesome news. Who came?
When's the last time you've been over to the UK, really?
2011.
It's been a while then.
My one and only time, because I went out for WXW, and then it was a part of a deal with All Star Wrestling out in England.
Yeah.
I went over to, I was in Birkenhead for like 6 weeks.
Oh, wow.
I did the Butland camps and the Haven camps, a couple of town shows, and then I went back over to Germany again for 2 more WXW shows and came home. I really want to go back. Hopefully when this stuff happening in the world calms down, I can go back. Because I missed the Bangers and Mash and all the other good stuff. Asda.
Yeah.
Tesco's.
That's one of the things we miss, and it's one of the things Impact Wrestling's always had. They've always had a strong following in the UK, and when they used to do the Maximum Impact tours a few years ago, they was always like loads of fans in attendance and stuff, and it's something we can't wait for. I would imagine there might have been some plans to do that this year, but unfortunately, COVID-19 got in the way, and things like that. So hopefully, possibly next year, but we're just going to have to wait for see how it develops, I suppose. But we'll bring you, I've got a special treat for you. So, because the name of the show is That 90s Wrestling Podcast, I've decided to make a new segment. And seeing if that me and you is a similar age and you grew up during the 90s, we've got a theme for I'm going to be asking you some 90s based questions. Are you ready?
I guess so.
Cool. So the first question is, what was your favourite movie from the 90s?
My favorite movie from the 90s. I guess Critters. Does Critters count?
Critters? Oh, I haven't watched that for years. That was a fun movie.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And your favourite TV show?
Favorite TV show in the 90s? That's kind of hard because it was Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Of course, Pokemon, Gargoyles, Mighty Max, maybe Sailor Moon, or Dr. Mice from Mars. It's too many to name. Street Sharks.
Me and you, we share a lot of the same taste growing up in the 90s. And I know you're a big video game player, so what was your favourite video game from the 90s?
Oh, Mortal Kombat.
MK. So, have you played 11 lately?
I played it once or twice. I'm not getting it until like they bring out the collection edition.
Yeah.
And that's what I do with all my video games. I noticed I have a lot of DLC content. I wait till the Game of the Year collection come out so I don't have to pay all that extra money for like one skin or one finisher move or something stupid like that.
Yeah, that's a wise move. I've just, on PlayStation Plus, they've just brought out Street Fighter 5, the arcade edition, and got for free this month. And yeah, like you said, you just get so much extra, because otherwise you'd be paying like $60, $70 or $80 for DLC, so you might as well wait a couple of years or something.
Yeah, but it's worth the wait if you could save that money and get the exact same game with the extra add-ons for free.
100%. And last question before we go, your favourite wrestler of the 90s and your favourite match?
Favorite wrestler of the 90s? I guess it would have to be, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin. But one of my favorite matches from the 90s was Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon, title versus title, ladder match, Intercontinental title.
Great match, awesome match.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
And that Slammiversary as well. I noticed you paid a little bit of tribute to Razor Ramon with your ring gear that night.
Yeah, it's funny how some people didn't know what it was. I'm like, it's right in front of your face. Instead of razor blades, I had chocolate bars on my butt.
That's great. Cool. So it's been a great having you on the show, Willie. It means a lot. Do you want to tell everyone where they can find you on their social media?
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Willie_Mac. You can hit me up on Facebook. It's a Facebook fan page. My like page is Willie Mack Official. And then go to my pro wrestling tee store and pick up some Willie Mack t-shirts. I got pets to feed. And you can find me on Twitch as Willie Mack 87 is my Twitch handle, so check me out on that.
Cool, that's great. Right, Willie, thanks very much for coming on. It's had quite a fun chat to be honest, talking about video games and stuff, so it was all good. And like I said, to all the UK fans, they can watch Impact on the Impact Plus app every week for free, and also Bound for Glory this year for us. I'm sure we'll be definitely seeing you on the match card.
Yeah, I hope so, and thanks for all the UK support, and hopefully I get to see y'all soon and have fun over there with y'all and get some McDonald's in my stomach.
Cool.
UK McDonald's are bomb.
Thank you very much. Cool. You have a great day.